Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?
We want the CDC and the White House to go ahead and work together. We want Biden to pen, an eviction moratorium and getting that executive order done. But we're not just leaving it on the White House. We're asking for Congress, we're asking House leadership to reconvene us, bring us back because this is our job. We can't go on recess. We can't go on vacation when millions of people's lives are at risk.
That was Democratic Congresswoman Cori Bush. She is now about to enter her fourth night tonight of sleeping on the steps of the U.S. Capitol to protest the end of a federal ban on evictions. Bush, who herself was once homeless, says she wants the Biden administration, you heard her there, and Congress to act immediately to extend the eviction moratorium. It ended last Saturday. It was put in place by the CDC last September to protect millions of tenants who were facing financial challenges because of the pandemic. An effort to extend the moratorium failed in Congress last week. And now with COVID cases once again surging across the country, the lives of millions hang in the balance. According to the Census Bureau, nearly 11 million people are behind on rent. And now renters are required to pay any payments they miss. So all that back money is due as well. Joining our conversation, Congresswoman Barbara Lee of California. She's the co-chair of the Democratic Steering and Policy Committee and the former chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. We're grateful to get to talk to you today. So much going on. First, tell me what the latest is this hour in efforts to extend the eviction moratorium.
Thank you very much for that question, Nicole. First of all, let me just say Congresswoman Cori Bush is correct. And I just want to thank her for pricking the conscience of this country, because throughout the country, people have to understand where we are. We're, first of all, in a state of national public health emergency at this point. And the Biden administration, with the stroke of a pen, could extend this eviction moratorium. We need to do that because this is a public health crisis. Secondly, we need to pass Congresswoman Waters' bill. We need to do that as quickly as possible and return to Washington to do that. But in the meantime, millions of people are going to be kicked out of their homes if, in fact, the administration does not extend the moratorium. So we're working each and every day, every hour, to try to convince the Biden-Harris administration and the CDC to extend the eviction moratorium.
Let me just put up for our viewers some numbers of humans, households, people who are affected. 16% of all households are behind on rent, 29% of renters in Mississippi, 28% of renters in South Carolina. Black renters are more than twice as likely to be behind as white renters. The source there is the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities. And Congressman, let me read you some of what I understand to be one of the legal and policy hurdles for the White House to not just take care of this at their level. The Wall Street Journal writes this. In June, the Supreme Court rejected an emergency request to clear the way for evictions after the Biden administration said it would extend the moratorium for one final month. Justice Brett Kavanaugh voted with the 5-4 majority to keep the moratorium in place, but issued a one-paragraph concurrence saying he believed the moratorium was unlawful and was willing to leave it in place for July. None of the sort of legal and policy machinations probably matter to all those millions of people possibly facing evictions in the middle of this Delta variant surge. But I wonder if you feel like everyone at the table is clear on the legal and policy predicaments before them.
They need to be clear if they're not. Because, in fact, when the Supreme Court issued this decision, the Delta variant wasn't taking over. People weren't, the virus was not being transmitted in the way it's being transmitted now. Secondly, the CDC has the authority to extend and to issue a public health designation in terms of an emergency. And the Biden administration needs to insist that that happen so that they can go ahead and extend the eviction moratorium. It's a moral disgrace. You saw the numbers there, the figures. When people are evicted, they become homeless, and then the virus will be transmitted even in larger numbers.
All right, so Joe Biden did a town hall, and It was apparent that shit is not going right in Joe Biden's head. And I just want to, first of all, he started off by giving some misinformation about the vaccine. Now, I saw Jen Psaki, his press secretary, say you should be, if you're banned for medical misinformation on one platform, you should be banned on all platforms. Well, they banned Trump. I wonder if they're going to ban him because here's his misinformation.
You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you just heard what he said, but that is misinformation. That is bad COVID information from the president of the United States. I thought it was just Trump who did that. Here he is. That is not true, what he just said. And he said it on CNN, and they didn't correct him. Because I don't know if you watched this, but Don Lemon was acting like Joe Biden's handler instead of a journalist. A game show host would do a better job than Don Lemon did. So he's asked about the virus and the vaccine, and here's what he said.
You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Yeah.
Now, we know that's not true, that they call them breakout, the Delta variant. People are getting the breakout. Now, if you have the vaccine, it's not supposed to be tough on you. It's supposed to be, you get through it. Your symptoms are much lesser. That's what they say. That's not what he said. What he said is so that's medical misinformation right there. Medical misinformation. Did you catch that, Ron? When did you see that?
No, I didn't catch it the first time, but yeah, that's for sure incorrect.
And he's just now. If I said that, if I went on Joe Rogan and I said that, do you know how many guys would be ripping me a new asshole? They'd probably write an article about it in BuzzFeed and Newsweek.
And so the Biden administration needs to understand the facts on the ground now. Those facts on the ground were not evident, and they weren't there, quite frankly, when, in fact, the Supreme Court made this decision. So this is unconscionable, and they've got to act, and they've got to act quickly.